days. I've been busy, but I'm so happy to get on here. I wish it was for better reasons. Today marks the 5-year mark for little Summer Wells missing. And I've got information. Well, it's been out there, but you had to listen to a long interview to get to it. And it always seems to come back to the same person. Like when I'm doing my research since day one, it has always been a big issue around this person, which is Fred Hill. And according to Fred Hill's sister, 3 weeks prior to Summer Wells going missing, he stole her bicycle. And his response was, Don'll know what it means. If a person steals your kid's bike and then says they'll know what it means, it makes you already think that they're going to do something in retaliation to you. They're going to do something to one of your kids or something. And then Summer Wells goes missing. Now, forgive me, you guys, I have not slept but 2 hours in the last 24 hours. I had something come up and wasn't able to go to bed last night. I went to bed at like 11 o'clock. I slept till like 1 o'clock. So forgive me if I seem off. Hey, Lisbon. Hi, Jan Funk. Hey, Zozo. Hey, Nick UK. Smudger. We got a Zozo in the house. All right, you guys. So welcome in if you are my live audience. And welcome in if you are my beautiful replay crew. And I put all kinds of delicious calorie-free snacks in the replay lounge. Thank you for all the support of this channel. You guys are amazing. Now, I am starting a second channel. And the reason I bring it up is because it's painting. And I did a painting for Summer Wells yesterday. And I'm going to be sharing that live with you after this live. And I hope you'll tune in. I recorded it, but I'm going to share it live. So it'll be a replay live. I don't know. We like to do things different around here. Hey, Runs with Scissors. Good to see you. JG George in the house. Good to see you, lovelies. When it comes to Summer Wells, it always tracks back to Fred Hill. He has accused so many people, including Cotton Simpson, who ended up passed away with Fred Hill being the main suspect till they gave up and said, well, we don't think you did it. We can't prove you did it. And it's like, what? See, Cotton was looking for Summer. And Fred said he knew where she was. Then Cotton Simpson ends up DOA. Like they find him and yeah. He has made comments that the dogs hit on his own property. Not only on his property, but right up on his boot. Cadaver dogs. Because it wasn't the scent dogs, it was the cadaver dogs, he said. I'm just saying, there's a lot to Fred Hill. He lived in the holler his whole entire life. Family-owned property. He picks up and moves away after Summer went missing. If anybody has more suspicion on them than Fred Hill, let me know. The only one would be Don Wells himself. I've often wondered because Sherpley, the neighbor, Don's neighbor, that Don Wells claims is Don Sherpy down there in the, so here he goes. Don Wells goes to not the house to look for Summer when he gets a call and finds out his daughter is missing, who's only 5. He skips the house driveway and he goes to the shed on the edge of their property back behind it, where there's a little creek there. And he gets out, he sees his boys, right? The boys. And that makes sense. It works because Grandis, who is the grandmother of Summer, that's what we call her, said she sent the boys down there to look for Summer. So, okay. But when Dawn Wells, let me grab a drink. When Dawn Wells arrived, he looks over at his neighbor that's coming across there. And according to him, that is when he knew something was very, very wrong. He'd already got the call that his daughter's missing. But it wasn't until he saw his neighbor coming towards him that he realized something was very, very wrong. Does anybody find that strange? Please, show of hands. Let me know what you think on that. Are they in cahoots? Good question, Lisbon. I don't think so. I think they were not friends at all. In fact, I think that Dawn had suspicions of his wife, Candace, the mother of Summer, having an affair with Fred Hill. Allegedly. Crafting Obsessed, sorry for bringing this up during live regarding Summer, but I just heard Nancy Guthrie had an appointment with her lawyer for the February 3rd at 10 a.m., and that's a huge bombshell if true. Ooh, would that ever be a big bombshell? Thank you for letting me know. I'll have to look into that. That case was a trip with him and drugs. See, you have to remember also that Fred Hill is a known rug dealer. Dawn Wells is a real known rug user. And they live less than a mile apart. Now, keep in mind, Candace was seen walking to Fred's house. Fred alleges he wasn't home. But he also alleges that he found little girl's clothing stashed in an old washing machine on his property. Are you kidding me? The footprints that the dogs hit on, that everybody has questioned, are they Summer's? And we don't have a lock-in answer, but they appear to be Summer's size. They are barefoot. She's the only little one we know that's running around in that area. And it's way in the woods. Summer liked to run around with her brothers all the time, though. But her bike was laying in the road. Now, how does Summer's bike get in the road if she never leaves the property? Did one of the brothers use her bike and leave it down there in the middle of the road? Or, here's this thing. Candace and Dawn pretend to be these helicopter pilot parents where they hover over her. And the mother, I walked her into the house, which is 10 feet away. Yet, her first thought when she went in the basement, alleged by her, and couldn't find her after looking for her, is that maybe she went out the basement door to go play on her swing, which would have meant that Summer can open the basement door. Dawn says Summer can open the basement door. So you are going to watch Summer hover over her, right on top of her to even walk her to the house 10 feet away in the middle of nowhere at your own property. Yet the child can go all the way down into that nasty ass basement that is a dungeon that you call Summer's bedroom and your bedroom. She can exit on her own come out on the opposite side of the house than you can see. So you can't even have eyes on her. And then she can take off and go do whatever she wants. And like the day before, the kids, including Summer, were on the roof of the house, and CPS came to talk to Dawn about the boys and the BB guns that they had. CPS said, like, get her down, don't let her on the roof. Yet the ladder still got left up, from my understanding. Something isn't right. We all know that. But is it that the first place that Dawn Wells goes and Candace individually is to Fred's house. That tells me a lot right there, that their suspicions are on him. What do you guys think? Michelle says that was creepy. That basement was creepy. Michelle Clifford. Don't trust social services for children. A lot of people don't. Hey, Rachel Mary. I definitely think there's layers to this with SA happening and social services visit due the next day. Most of them are criminals in some way in there, in your opinion. Thank you, lovely. Wonder if the boys ever got adopted. All but the oldest did. The oldest still hasn't been adopted. Sounds familiar. Jack and Lily. Yeah. There's a lot of things about the Jack and Lily Sullivan case that make me go, wow, that reminds me of Summer a lot. The dad's, the stepdad versus the dad, and it's just weird. All right, you guys. So he took, according to his own family, they are saying, his sister's saying, that he stopped. He had his I think it's his wife at the time. He has his wife stop the car, and she's like, why? He's like, I'm going to go get that bike. And then he goes and picks up Summer's bicycle, and when he's bringing back the bike to put it in the van, she asked him, what do you need a little girl's bike for? And guess what? He says, Dawn will know what that means. So what does that message in itself send to Dawn Wells if he is specifically taking Summer's bike? And how would Dawn Wells even know that Fred took her bike? All right. Are you ready to listen to this? I got it right out of their own mouth, the sister's mouth. Yeah, he took her bike. Funny that you know Candace's full name. Wasn't the door broke anyway and had the couch to keep it shut? I think that the lock worked. Because even when Chris McDonough came there, the door got locked. And he had to wait for Candace to open it. But I think that they were getting animals and bugs and maybe even a snake in the basement because the kids were leaving the basement door open. And so I think they put that couch there to keep the kids from going in and out of that door. But with the couch blocking the door and the door most likely locked, how in the world is somebody supposed to get in through the basement door, which has mirrored window, so you can't even tell who's in there or if anybody's in there? You've got adults on the outside of the house. You have children on the inside of the house. It doesn't work. We all know that. The math will never work on that. So, you feel sorry for the future of our children? Yes, Nikki, the couch was against the door. Exactly. Yep. You watch out for kids in your neighborhood, Annette? Good to see you. We have to protect the children from the bad people. Absolutely, we do. All right, let me share this with you. Let's get over here. This is Fred Hill's sister. I've listened to her full interview. I feel honestly that she is being very honest about everything. She shares a lot of information. These are a couple things that she shares. So, let me see the first thing. It's not the bike thing first, but that's coming up next.
Without checking vehicles or anything.
Oh, this is about them 5 days after Summer goes missing. They have to do, their mother wants them to go over to Fred's and do a wellness check on him. Basically, just check in and be like, how you doing, Fred? Fred is flipping out.
And I had wrote, Julie needed to take Mom some groceries and stuff, and I had rode down there with her to help her. And when we got up there, we unloaded everything. Mom wanted me and Julie to ride at Fred's and check her mailbox and just see how Fred was, see if Fred was there, see how he was. When was it? 5 days after something. Just like
She just cracks me up. She's like, Mom wanted us to see how Fred was. If Fred was there. It's just like you can tell. She didn't want to do it.
And so.
Oh, what just happened? Let's try that again. Sorry, guys.
Fred's and check her mailbox and just see how Fred was, see if Fred was there, see how he was. When was this? 5 days after something. Just 5 days after something. Okay. Yeah. And so we ride up there. Of course, we pull up to the camper before we check the mailbox because we wanted him to know who we were and why we were there because it was getting dark. Okay. And me and Julie both were standing in the driveway, and Fred was standing there talking to us, and he was very concerned and worried, felt like he was being set up. He said that he had found a backpack at the top of his driveway, I guess on that where we parked, that had, he said, drug-making paraphernalia. I don't know what that means. Did you see the backpack? Did he show it to you? No. No. He just told you what was in it? He just said that he had found that, and I said, I just made the comment, well, I hope you just turned it over to the police.
So they go there to do a wellness check on Fred, and he's freaking out. He feels like he's getting set up. He's making the claim that he found a little backpack full of rug paraphernalia. He's a rug dealer. Why would he... Who would leave their rug making paraphernalia? To me, it's him getting ahead of the story in case maybe that's a story he had told TBI. Maybe he had something like that of his own since, you know, he's a rug dealer, right? A supplier. Maybe he put his own shit in a backpack and then wanted to claim it had been left on his property so that he could be like to TBI, it's not even mine. It was left on my property. I told you that already. Like, get ahead of it, right? Kelly Simon says these people didn't pay attention to their kids very much anyway. Living out there, it's like country yards kids run. The other guy is a rug dealer. I almost said a Doug dealer. How sad is this poor little girl? This is heartbreaking. We all know that. It's a hard case. Well, I hope you will return, Danny. Good to see you, and thanks for stopping in. Didn't want YouTube on, yes. Yeah, make sure you use good words. We love hearing your opinions. Please make sure not to use bad language, and please use "in my opinion" when not sharing facts. Thank you so much. Keep Mama D and the channel safe. Thank you, lovely. Hey, Smudger. All right. So stuff found on his property and thinks he's getting set up.
And I don't remember what he said about that.
You found it outside the house.
It was outside in the driveway.
In the drive, like somebody.
In the driveway.
Somebody had just set it up there or something. He said it didn't belong to him, and he didn't understand where it came from.
Okay.
And he also mentioned that he found some little girl's clothes in an old washing machine outside.
Hold on a minute.
Somewhere.
Just to play the other side of the coin, Candace did walk up there before she reported Summer missing. She walked to Fred's, or was walking back. Yes, she was walking back. When she made the 911 call, it was said by the dispatch that the mother went out for a run. When she got back, her daughter was missing. Could Candace have dropped off a vehicle? I just can't see her walking anywhere, let alone all the way to Fred's, which is like a half a mile. Candace looks like the laziest person. I mean, have y'all ever known? She even talks about how she would never go for a walk because of cougars and bear, oh my, and snakes and scary things. She could have put her shit knowing she was going to call 911, but why take it all the way to Fred's? Why not just put it across the road? Maybe she was afraid that they'd find it. I don't know, y'all. That's a hard one. Did he find that drug paraphernalia, or is it really his? It's so confusing. In Xenia Gold, they said he took the little girl's bike, and soon Don Wells would know why. Very incriminating. Not soon Don Wells would know why. He took the bike and then said, Don will know what this is about. He'll know what it means. Yes, I do work hard. Thank you, lovely. Michelle Clifford says, in my opinion, I think Grandma or Candace took somewhere in the back of the car. Well, now we know through the timestamps on the metadata that milk video of Summer is legitimately that time frame. That's when that picture was taken, or video. Yeah, when she was leaning up against the milk video. Or the milk. Leaning up with the milk in that video. I told you, no sleep. All right, you guys, let's get over here. This is where we find out. Where this just blows my mind. Now listen, when she finds out that there's a little girl missing in the holler, that's a neighbor to Fred Hill, what his own sister's first response is. This is mind-blowing.
Without checking vehicles or anything. And I had Julia needed to take Mom some groceries and stuff, and I had rode down there with her to help her. And when we got up there, we unloaded everything. Mom wanted me and Julie to ride up.
Oh, I clicked the same video. Let's try the other one.
I didn't know anything about Don Wells. Candace.
Initial instinctive reaction.
Yeah. I asked Julie, I said, oh my God, what is Fred done?
What?
That was my first reaction. Yeah.
What was that?
I asked Julie, I said, oh my God, what is Fred done?
That was your first
That
reaction.
was my first reaction.
Instinctive reaction.
Yeah.
What was that?
I asked Julie, I said, oh my God, what is Fred done?
Oh my God, what has Fred done? His own sister. That's her first reaction when she finds out that Summer Wells is missing. Oh my God, what has Fred done? I won't lose those words. Her legs did appear swollen, Michelle. Hey, Lane, good to see you. Tap that like button and please and thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, listen to this.
That was your first
That
reaction.
was my first reaction. She said, well, yeah, I mean, I had to call all of the agencies and let them know. All day.
Was it where you work right here?
At that time, I was working for a greenhouse about at
reactions?
Yeah.
What was that?
I asked Julie, I said, oh my God, what is Fred done?
That was your first
That
reaction.
was my first reaction. She said, I don't know what to think.
You guys close? Were you close?
We were close to it.
You get a sense of how she was thinking?
She was concerned and curious as much as I was, because the only reference we had at that point, I did know about Summer Wells.
You did.
Listen,
Because 3 weeks before Summer went missing,
3
I
weeks.
didn't know her name. I just knew a little girl. Julie had went to the store for Mom. Fred Moore had rode with her, and coming back in the holler, Fred made her stop at the bottom of the hill below John's driveway because a little girl's bike was laying there, and he made Julie stop and get that bike. I asked Julie, I said, why in the world would he? Why would he want a little girl's bicycle? He doesn't have kids. He's not around kids. None of his nieces and nephews are small children. Why would he need a little girl's bicycle? She said, I don't know. She said, when they were coming in the holler, and Fred told her to stop and back up. She said, why? She said, I'm going to get that bike, that little girl's bike. And she said, Fred, you don't need that little bicycle. Because I guess in her mind, to me, she told me in her mind, she was thinking he was just looking at something to scrap metal. She said he kind of got ill with her and told her to back the fucking van up, and she said, I didn't know what to do, so I just backed up and said, got out, got the bike, put it in the van, got back in. She said, Fred, what in the world are you going to do with the little girl's bike? And his response to her was, don't know what it said.
Don'll know what it fucking means. Okay, let's wrap our head around that. Summer Wells' bike, 3 weeks before she goes missing, is laying in the middle of the road at the end of the driveway. So they live up on the hill. The driveway is horrible, but the curve of the road at the bottom of their driveway, right there, her bike is laying there. So most likely, Summer left the property more than once. In fact, other neighbors have said that they saw Summer many times playing in the middle of the road. And remember, it's a curve, so you can't see around the bend. So 3 weeks before Summer goes missing, Summer's bike is laying on the road. Fred is with his mother. No, is it his mom? Anyway, he's with Julie, which is a sister, and then he's with his wife or girlfriend. And as they're going through the holler, they go through that driveway, go past that driveway, they see Summerwell's bike. And Fred's like, stop the truck. And they're like, why? He's like, I want to go get that bike. I'm going to go get that bike. And they're like, why would you take a little girl's bike? What do you need for that? And he says, Dawn will fucking know what it means. That little girl went missing 3 weeks later. That's the most incriminating thing I've ever heard in the Summer Wells case, and it's fallen onto Fred. Hey, Lane. His son, if I remember rightly, allegedly, whose son? Who's Brett? Y'all, we have a Fred, not a Brett. Hey, JG, good to see you. So, you guys, I don't know what to think of that. I'm at a loss how that doesn't make everything. The cadaver dogs hitting on Fred's property, on his vehicle, and on his boot. The little girl's clothing that was just randomly found in his washing machine on his property. Little girl's clothes. That's long before there was a Ziggy with kids. There were no little kids around him at that time. His sister even said he didn't even have any little kids. Nieces and nephews were all grown. So where'd he get little kids' clothes? You feel me? He moved out of state, left his entire life. I mean, he's in his, 40s by the time that Summer goes missing? At least that's what he looks like. Maybe he's in his 30s, but he could be in his 50s. He looks old. Anyway, he left his property, like left it for good, and just up and moved away to another state. It's like a long way. I think it's Indiana or something. Tell me where that is. Oh, you're good, JG. I don't know, y'all. Don't you feel that he's taking Summer's bike and he's saying, Donald, know what that effing means? So there's a message in stealing Summer's bike. To me, it could mean that it's a warning that he's going to be taking the little girl next. The footprints that lead away from his property, like out the back of his property, if you go a little ways up in the holler there, that's where they found the bare footprints. If you listen to his sister talk about Fred in the front yard and the way they found their mother, I can't even go watch Ryan Finds Truth. The mother, I can't even tell you how they found her. It's so disturbing. And Fred was just out there messing around in the yard, and they came in the house and they were like, Mom! They got the ambulance, everything. Fred was like, not even like upset or surprised about his mom. I don't know, y'all. Yeah, I really believe I gotta change. I really believe that Ziggy is fully protecting Fred. I really believe that. Fred Hill's son, Mom. Oh. Fred Hill's son is named Brett? I did not know that. His son, he has a son named Brett? He lost all custody of his kids. I know that. A long time before Summer went missing. All right, you guys. There is a reason that he would take that little girl's bike. He stopped the vehicle. You know, you're with your family in the car and you stop the car. That's pretty big. Like, to go get the little girl's bike, steal Summer's bike. Fred don't know what it effing means, or Don will know what it effing means. First place Don goes, first place Candace goes is Fred's. He's a registered SO. No, Fred's son is an offender. Oh. I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? I'm just asking questions. Oh, I think that the cover-up could be that there was some, let's just say, perhaps they were renting out this little girl with a red barrel and have her dance in front of it the first sale. I think there was a lot of SA, and I think they were getting drugs for free. That's how they were paying for rugs. Candace liked rugs, but didn't have money ever. Fred's a dealer. What if she was paying with her rugs by allowing someone to use the child? You feel me? And you think the Wells are? Guess not. That is very disturbing. Hey, Sue Lawson. Good to see you. All right, you guys. Let's do this. We're going to jump off here. They're going to be about 3 minutes in between. And we're going to go ahead. I just have to set up the camera. It might be even 4 minutes. I've just set up the camera and everything. What I did is I felt inspired the first year I painted a painting for summer, and I don't know. It was so hard to paint because I wanted to paint an aerial view. If you were standing on Summer's Hill, but the trees were low enough at the edge of the property to look down over the rolling hills, I thought that'd be a lovely picture. That is a lot harder to paint an aerial view of rolling hills than I ever dreamed. I've never had a painting take me as long as this one did. So I did a time-lapsed recording. So the entire video, I believe, is 28 minutes from the second I start the painting till we're done. But it was a labor of love for summer because I love Summer even though I never met her. And I want justice for her, and I want the real truth. I demand the truth. I'm freaking mad as heck about this whole thing, and I demand justice. I throw it out to the universe. We want justice and to know the truth on Summer Wells. That's what I'm throwing out there. I'm pitching it. Now, in this process, I labor through this painting, trust me. This painting was a 12-hour painting that I put down in 28 minutes of time lapse. It looks like it comes easy, I think. It doesn't. So what I'm saying basically is get inspired by sticking to your passion and continue to do what is inspiring to you. I hope I inspire some people. Now, I'm going to auction off the painting, and I'm going to donate 100% of whatever Summer Wells painting sells for to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So when I say I'm going to auction it off, you'll have to come over and check out our next live to find out. And the bid is at $0. So if the highest bid is $1, that's what we're selling it for. You will have to pay your own shipping and handling, just saying. But a lot of streamers are from this case and heartbreak. A lot of streams are from this case and heartbreak. I miss what you mean. A lot of streams are from this case. I don't know what that means. Zozo said it would be lovely if you can all join us and watch Mama D paint for Summer Wells. The whole bike thing. I mean, I was already suspicious of Fred, like more than suspicious. I'm like really locking in on Fred. His behavior. I'm too tired to go over everything. Like it's not all coming to mind. It's like that moment when somebody says, when did I ever do that? And there's 1,000 moments they did it, but you can't think of one. Okay, there's 1,000 reasons I'm suspicious of Fred. 1,000 reasons, I kid you not. Everything's wrong with the whole scenario. I've often wondered if Candace and Fred were actually having an affair. That would mean her weed would be free. Is she selling off Summer so that she could get more rugs from him? You feel me? I don't know. All right, my lovelies. With that, I thank you for joining me. I wish more people were still interested in the Summer Wells case. I personally will never give up on Summer Wells. I know that you won't either. And I love you. I appreciate you. And so does Summer. And I love you to the moon and back. I'll see you in just a few minutes where I'm going to share my painting with you.
From the dust I was born, to the dirt I shall return. When my eyes are closed, in the shadows, my enemies will think they won, but I am here to stay. Destiny will overcome, no, I am not afraid. Like a phoenix in the night, my soul will rise. From the darkness to the light, I feel could feel